So let me ask you this. What if the real way to build, serious wealth and influence today isn't actually about chasing viral hits?
Right. Or just throwing content out there constantly hoping something sticks.
Exactly. What if it's something, well, more strategic, something maybe more accessible, especially when you bring in the tech that's available now?
It's a totally different way of looking at it, isn't it? So many people are still hunting for that, like one big viral moment.
Yeah, when the tools for steady, real growth are like literally in their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're diving into today, this powerful mix of social media and AI, how they actually work together to open doors, create real revenue, and, make a lasting impact.
Yeah, unlocking actual opportunities.
Right. And our mission here is to unpack some really powerful insights. We've got sources from Mike Hayes. He's the chief researcher over the AI Super Campus.
Ah, Mike Hayes. Yeah, he's deep into business networking AI, really good at simplifying things.
That's his thing, isn't it? Taking these like complex AI communication channels and
Yeah.
making them clear, turning the complex into just clarity.
Yeah, his work gives business folks these strategic shortcuts. He helps them figure out which AI networking tools actually, move the needle.
Translating the tech into human stories, actionable stuff.
Exactly. He's really building these frameworks so people can, well, not just survive, but really thrive with AI changing everything so fast.
Okay, and central to all this, we're looking at John Lee. He's an international entrepreneur, helped thousands scale up their social media. We're talking seven-figure incomes.
Often from like really tough starting points too.
Right. So think of this as your shortcut, your way to understand how to navigate this whole connected AI age, how to turn that digital complexity into something clear, something you can actually use. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So John Lee, he's got this system that's very efficient, uses AI for his content. He starts with, say, one longer video.
Right, like a keynote or a longer piece.
Yeah, and then uses AI to basically chop it up into lots of shorter, really targeted clips, sometimes like 10 or more from just one video.
And then AI takes over again, right?
Exactly. It transcribes everything word for word. And then this is key. It synthesizes that transcript into a structured guide, which he then gives away for free.
That's pretty smart because the AI isn't just cutting video, it's understanding it.
How so?
Well, AI can pick out the key moments, the themes, even analyze the sentiment. So it's not just random clips, it's intelligent content atomization, breaking it down strategically.
Something that would take a human ages.
Ages and you'd probably miss stuff. Then it goes beyond just typing it out. The AI analyzes the core points, structures them into a guide. It's like an instant content repurposer and strategist.
All aimed at building that email list, right? That asset.
Precisely. Building a high-value list, that's the asset that becomes monetizable wealth. It's a classic digital marketing principle, just massively sped up by AI.
It's a really potent approach. And Mike Hayes, seeing this work for thousands of business owners, generating serious income. He was obviously impressed.
Yeah, John's system helps regular people scale up to 7 figures, sometimes in less than a year, creating multiple passive income streams. It's a very attractive path to financial freedom.
And John's own story kind of shows that drive, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He started out, really humbly, mopping floors in a Chinese takeaway in Manchester.
Wow.
Yeah, son of first-gen immigrant parents, worked incredibly hard. He had challenges to dyslexia, struggled in school, pushed through, got a uni degree in computer animation.
Only to lose the job shortly after.
And that was his first big realization, wasn't it? That just having a job, a traditional job, wasn't going to create real wealth.
So he took a risk, put his savings into property.
Calculated risk, yeah. But then 2008 happened.
Ouch. The market crash.
Wiped him out, all the savings, all that effort. Gone.
That's a critical moment. What do you do then? Everything you built just collapses?
Yeah, exactly. He had a stark choice. Go back to the 9-to-5 grind or change everything. He saw these new platforms popping up, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
And decided to master them.
Made a very deliberate choice. Master this new digital world.
And he definitely did. Grew his social media super fast, 6 million followers across different platforms in just 3.5 years.
That's incredible growth.
And just his Instagram, with 2 million followers, apparently brings in $5 million a year for him. He clearly knows how to turn social media presence, big or small, into actual income.
But it's more than just the direct cash, isn't it? What's really interesting is how he used that social success.
Yeah.
built the $1 million property portfolio by 27, launched multiple companies. He keeps saying the value isn't just the income.
It's the doors it opens.
Exactly. The investment deals, the collaborations with high-level people, just the sheer number of opportunities that come to him.
Okay, now that's where it gets really fascinating. He talks about the connections made through social media being the real power. He connected with some big names like Novak Djokovic, invested in 25 companies, got small stakes in huge ones like Uber and SpaceX, all from his social network.
Wow.
And his big aha moment, someone saw a YouTube video of him closing a deal, called him up immediately, offered thousands for help doing the same thing. Suddenly, high-value deals were finding him.
That perfectly illustrates his concept. Awareness times attention equals income.
Say that again.
Awareness times attention equals income. The more strategically visible you are, the more qualified attention you get.
The more business you attract and convert.
Right. And remember, after that first property disaster with the bad partner, he was back living at his mom's.
Right.
He had that choice again, get a job or use what he'd learned, but this time, amplify it with social media.
And rebuilt a multi-million-pound property portfolio from scratch in 6 months, just using social media.
That's the story. He talks about people at his speeches, taking pictures, posting on Facebook, recording talks for YouTube, creating this kind of mini viral effect.
He was doing over $1 million with only 50,000 followers. That's a huge return for that audience size.
It absolutely is. Which proves you don't need millions of followers if you get the right kind of attention and know how to convert it.
Which kind of begs the question, right? In a world drowning in content, why do we need to add to it? Why become creators?
John's take is pretty straightforward. If a life is worth living, it's worth recording. In this super noisy digital world, people need to quickly get what you do, and maybe more importantly, why you do it.
Like walking down a street full of restaurants.
Yeah, how do you pick? Often it's the one with the queue, right? The one people are talking about.
So if your business is great offline but invisible online,
There's a disconnect. It looks less relevant. That authenticity, that realness online builds visibility and trust.
and he talks about something else too, parasocial interaction.
Right. That's that weirdly powerful one-sided bond people feel with creators or public figures. They feel like they know you, trust you, even if they've never met you.
How do you build that?
By actually engaging, asking your audience things in stories, sharing personal stuff, not just polished photos. It's the interaction that builds that connection and pulls in the right people.
Okay, and that engagement leads to his idea of message to market match.
Exactly. If your documented content is all about investing,
You attract investors.
if it's about coffee,
Coffee lovers.
Right.
Simple as that. It's about building that targeted community. Like the old high street where you knew the shop owner, but, at scale.
And he makes this really important distinction between just creating content and documentation.
What's the difference?
Instead of just making stuff up for the sake of posting, he says document what you actually do, your process, your insights, how you solve problems.
Just show your work, basically.
Show your expertise, your unique way. People will naturally gravitate towards that and want your help. It's strategically amplifying that awareness times attention equals income idea again.
Okay, so connecting this to the future. What does this mean for jobs, for careers? John sees a big shakeup coming starting around 2025.
Yeah, he predicts massive disruption. And he says the two most crucial skills for leverage are knowing how to use AI tools effectively, like ChatGPT.
And knowing how to build an audience strategically.
That combination, he argues, gives you a massive competitive edge.
It ties into a bigger shift too, doesn't it? Well,
Yeah.
people want from work.
Absolutely. John says people don't just want a traditional job anymore, or even a traditional business. They want something in between.
A lifestyle business.
Exactly. Flexibility to travel, work on their own terms, uncapped earnings. It's a move away from the old industrial age constraints.
And here's the punchline, the bit that really hits home. Most people spend hours every day on their phones, right? Scrolling social media, just consuming.
Yeah, passively consuming.
John's message is powerful.
Yeah.
Flip that. Turn that consumption time into creation time. Use those hours strategically to build income and opportunity.
He talks about social media having social currency, where your influence gets you paid posts or endorsements. And social position, which gives you the distribution power to sell things to potentially millions.
Why did someone like Elon Musk buy Twitter?
Not primarily for the money, right? He's already got plenty. It was for influence, distribution.
Being able to reach millions with one click.
When you can do that, the whole game changes. Opportunities start coming to you.
That Roaring Kitty GameStop thing is such a wild example of that distribution power.
Oh, totally. This guy starts a channel, talks passionately about GameStop stock.
And it blows up. Stock goes from pennies to over $400. Makes him, what, nearly $200 million?
All because he had distribution. His audience was this incredibly valuable asset that directly made him money. Even after vanishing for years, one post could still move the stock price.
Crazy. But he brings up a practical point. Can anyone really do this?
John's adamant. Yes, anyone can learn it. Everyone's got a phone, right? Everyone has some unique message or experience. Everyone can hit record.
He taught this to his student Mark Lone, who was deep in debt.
Yeah, $15,000 in debt. Mark was hesitant about social media at first.
Understandable.
But John told him straight. Your business is failing because nobody knows you exist. No awareness.
Tough love.
He just encouraged Mark to pick up the camera and explain why he did what he did, share the personal story.
Which was about his father.
Right. His dad lived 5 years longer because of diet changes, after doctors gave him only 2 months. John insisted that powerful, real story had to be shared online. So Mark made a video strategically titled, Cheap, Fast, and Fake. That's provocative.
Designed to grab attention, yeah.
Yeah.
It got 2.1 million views, 12,000 shares. Put his company, Farms Asia, on the map instantly.
And years later...
A decade later, Farms Asia gets a $72 million offer from Whole Foods. All traced back to hitting record and sharing his purpose.
Incredible. And there are other examples too, right? Like Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel, the AV tech, doing Forex trading on the side. He used the freemium model.
Share valuable stuff for free.
Exactly. But offer paying clients $100 a month access to his actual trades.
How did that work out?
He got over 150 paying clients. Quit the AV job. Financially free. All by just starting to document and share what he knew.
These stories really drive home that point. You don't need millions of followers to start. Marcel didn't have millions.
No, but he got the right followers, the target market.
John's quite clear. You can build a 7-figure business with just 1,000 really engaged, targeted followers. It completely changes how you think about passive income.
Which leads us to the idea of a personal brand. Why is that so vital now?
Well, think about why you choose certain places. You might go to a restaurant because you like the chef, or shop somewhere because you connect with the owner's vibe, their values.
Right.
Your personal brand is that. It's your reputation, your unique value. People need to see you, know you, like you, and crucially trust you before they really engage or buy.
The Salt Bay example is pretty wild.
Isn't it? 20 million followers just from theatrically sprinkling salt on steak.
And he uses that to fill his restaurants worldwide.
And because he built that demand through his brand, he can charge $800 for a burger if he salts it personally at your table.
Compared to $200 for the same burger without the salt sprinkle.
Exactly. The personal brand, fueled by attention, creates demand and allows premium pricing.
He also mentions his friend Milan Vasco, who was really hesitant.
Yeah, Milan apparently said, I'm ugly, I'm not confident on camera.
Been there.
John's advice was just blunt. Push the red button. Start documenting your expertise, advising people. Milan went from zero income, debt, to making 100,000 euros in about 18 months. Just by creating Instagram and Facebook courses, online mentoring, it shows anyone can start down this path.
Okay, so let's tackle some of those big myths, the barriers that stop people. First one, don't I need millions of followers to make money?
John says that's maybe the biggest misconception. It's not about the number of followers.
It's the quality and the targeting.
Precisely. He talks about an influencer with 10 million followers who couldn't get anyone to show up for a meet and greet. You don't just want information seekers browsing passively. You want solution seekers. People actively looking for help. If just one person watches your video and reaches out for a solution.
That's a potential transaction.
Yeah.
Value exchange. Money.
Look at Jen Stutwell, another student. Only 20,000 followers, not millions.
And she makes $50 a month, living free in Thailand.
Yep. Companies now pay her to consult on their social media because she just transparently documented her own journey and helps others build a brand around what they already do, serving that specific community.
Okay, that flows right into myth number 2. Do I have to go viral? Is it a failure if my video only gets a few hundred views?
John's response is, it's not about how many views, it's about who's watching.
You never know who's in that small audience.
Exactly. Could the CEO of Apple be one of those few hundred? He uses the example of iJustine.
Right, she just kept posting about tech.
Consistently. Eventually connects with Tim Cook himself, gets invited to Apple's big developer conference launch, all from consistent non-viral posting to the right niche.
And statistically, going truly viral is super rare anyway, isn't it?
Like 0.1% chance, apparently. So what's a better strategy, a more reliable one?
Consistency.
He calls it a compound marketing strategy. Let's say one video, starting from zero, gets 500 views consistently. Do that every day for a year.
That's 182,500 views from just that one video type.
Right. Now multiply that across 5 different platforms. You're getting close to 1 million views.
And if just 1% of those million convert.
10,000 people, that's serious income. That's how you accelerate to becoming a 7-figure creator through consistency, not lottery-style virality.
That compounding effect is really something. I've seen posts with just a few hundred views turn into actual clients. Okay, third myth. Isn't social media too saturated? Shouldn't I have started years ago?
John flips that one too. Is coffee saturated?
Oh.
Is fast food? Are online courses saturated?
Well, no, there are always new ones popping up.
Exactly. It's not about the platform being full. It's about your ability to stand out and offer something unique, something valuable.
He even says new, focused accounts often do better than old ones.
Yeah, think about it. If your account is 10 years old, your early followers might not care about what you do now. Engagement drops.
But a brand new account, super specific, like the guy who only posts about the carnivore diet.
People follow you for that one thing. They're actively looking for that specific solution. They come right to you.
So find your niche, be specific.
And provide consistent, high-value, documented expertise in it. That's the key.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening right now? The big shift, the core idea we've unpacked today is huge.
Yeah, it's seeing social media not just as fun or, casual posting.
But as this powerful engine, building a real asset, your personal brand, your distribution network, which leads directly to income, to opportunity.
Remember that formula. Awareness times attention equals income.
And the really empowering bit. Anyone can tap into this. You've got a phone, you've got something to say.
It's not about having the most followers. It's about the quality of that connection and the specific value you bring to those solution seekers in your niche.
So here's something to think about, maybe chew on after this. What would your own documentation look like? What's one specific problem you could start talking about, start solving for just one person online, maybe even starting today?
How could you shift some of that time you spend consuming social media into creating something valuable?
Because those small, consistent steps we talked about, they really can lead to those huge shifts, the kind of impact we heard about in John Lee's story and his student stories, turning a common habit into something with, well, potentially massive personal and even community impact.